Hi guys, it's Michael, and today I'm reviewing the Boblov HD Mini Video Camera. This is model C18/C19. I think the manual is for both cameras, but this is actually the C18, which is the model that supports Wi-Fi. So you can see this is a very compact, small little security camera. It has a clip that can be removed, and the clip is also magnetized, so this can stick on something metal, and you can also put it on either side of the camera, so the clip can go on the front or the back side of the camera. Theoretically, you could just put this in your pocket and it is going to be attached to your clothing, and it's not necessarily designed to be completely stealthy. However, there are a couple things that you can do to make this more stealthy. When the camera is in operation, there's a very inobtrusive little light, a red light that blinks up at the top very slowly. But that's an indicator light that can be turned off in the settings. And then the other issue that may cause you some concern if you want it to be totally stealthy is there is an OLED display here that is actually on initially when recording first begins, but after about 23 seconds that turns off. So if you have the indicator off and the OLED display has gone dark, then you have basically a stealthy recording device and you really can't tell whether it's on or off. Now, the operation of this really couldn't be much simpler. There are two buttons on the side, and then there is what they call the OK button on the front. It's the top button, which is the on-off button, so you simply press and hold that for a couple seconds, and that turns it on, and you can see the OLED display then displays what mode you're in. In order to change the mode, you simply press the power button at the top, and that'll cycle you through the various different modes that you have. So you have the settings menu, you have the camera mode, you have the audio mode, and then you have your video mode. And I don't know whether the modes that you're seeing are actually what I'm saying. They might be in a different order, but I'm just winging it here. In order to get into the settings, you get into the setting mode, and then you press the OK button at the bottom here, and that gets you into the various settings. All right, I'm going to walk you through the menu system here. So again, we have the two buttons on the side, the OK button in the front. The top button here is the on-off button. So it's already been turned on, and right now it is in the audio recording mode. So either by pushing one of these two buttons, you're either going to go up or down through your possible selections. So let's push the down button, which is going to take me to the settings. Again, we're going to have video will be the first thing that shows up, photo, audio, settings. So push the OK button to make your selection, and then we have resolution as the first choice, and we've got 1296, and all of these are 30 frames a second, 1080p, which is the default, 720p, and 480p. Make your selection, push the OK button, that locks it in, returns you to the level above that. So then we go to image size, and we have 3200, 2400, or 1200, and I keep it at the lowest setting because I really don't notice a whole lot of difference, and it takes up less space the smaller the size. Superstore is for video, and it's either on or off. It's going to save quite a bit of space. Again, I don't notice a significant difference between the two, and so I just keep it off. But if you want to cram as much video as possible, you would turn that on. Next down, we have loop record, and that lets you not worry about ever running out of space. Once your memory fills up, it will just start recording over the oldest memory. But if you did not want that to happen, then you would turn that option off. Next, we have video time, and again, this is 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes. That is how large a video file will be created until it creates the next file. Then we have motion detection, which is either going to be off or on. Then we have power off, so that is after inactivity. It'll either shut this completely off after 1 minute, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes. Vibrate is giving you that tactile feedback, that haptic feedback that can either be on or off. I happen to like it. The Wi-Fi switch is how you get into the Wi-Fi mode. The network that this creates is called CS109, and after you've downloaded the app, which is called ZFXF app, you will be able to use that app to connect to the camera, and it will let you start and stop video recording. It will also give you the interface where you can download any videos and photos that have been captured on the security camera down to your smartphone. The app does not let you download or stream the video or photos to Facebook or any social media like that. It simply allows you to download to your smartphone. One more press down gives us the format option, and this is going to format the memory. We want to cancel out of that. This is the version of the firmware. And finally, we have the exit option, which when you push that, takes you to the top level, which is where you choose video, photo, or audio recording. Now, the audio quality is actually pretty good on this, and I'm just going to start recording myself right now using the camera. And let me hold it right up here so we can compare the quality to my actual camcorder. This is in 1080p FHD mode, what they call it, and it's recording the audio and it's recording video right now. So let me stop that, get a little haptic feedback, tells you that it stopped video recording, and that is that. So a couple of my thoughts on this. It does take a pretty good quality photo for what this is. However, I don't notice a whole lot of difference between the different resolutions. When you're in the photo mode, you do have three choices for image size. You have 12 megapixels, 24 megapixels, and 32 megapixels. I don't really notice much difference, honestly, between the quality. I still see a lot of pixelation when I zoom in. If you're just looking at it at the native resolution without zooming in, the photo in all three cases looks pretty good to me. Colors are pretty decent. You just don't see a lot of distortion. It's not a bad photo for what this is, keeping in mind that this is just a little mini security camera, okay? As far as the resolution of video recording, you have 480p, 720p, 1080p, and then you have 1296p, which is really a weird resolution. It basically gives you a kind of a square image, but I don't see a whole lot of value in that. Maybe there's an application where you would want that, but I usually keep this in 1080p, and I'm quite happy with the quality. All right, I'm quickly going to go through the different video resolutions. This is 1296p. This is 1080p. This is the mode I keep it in most of the time. And here's a 1080p video in Super Save mode. So this is the more compressed version. Here we have 720p. And this is 480p. The camera does have auto exposure and auto white balance. You can't control that. It works fairly well though, so when you're going from a dark situation to a situation that has quite a bit of light, it does make that transition pretty well. It's not instantaneous, but I'd say overall it doesn't do too badly. If you are in the situation where the camera is pointing into a bright background and you're trying to capture yourself or somebody else that is in front of that light background, pretty good chance they're going to be quite dark in the frame, and I'll give a demonstration of that here so you can see what I mean. But otherwise, it does work pretty well. Low light performance isn't too great, to be honest. It'll work with a little bit of room light, but once you get into a lights out situation, you're pretty much out of business here. It doesn't really have a very good light mode, and I don't believe that there is any IR going on here in order to put light into the situation. So in very dark situations, this is not going to give you a very good result. But overall, I think this is a pretty good quality little cam, and I use it actually in my travels. If this is the only thing I have with me, like they say, the best camera is the camera you have with you. If you don't have any camera, you're not going to get anything. So if I have this with me, at least I can get something if I've left my smartphone in my room or whatever. So recording, you can get about 3 to 4 hours of recording with this, with the 64 gigabyte version that I have. I've never really filled this up to capacity. I always maybe get an hour of video on at the most, and then I'm downloading it and deleting it. But the battery will allow you to get up to 4 hours. It does depend what resolution you're shooting in and whether you have that super saver mode engaged or not. But overall, not a bad deal. I think the image quality is pretty good on this. Of course, there's always a wish list of things that I wish it had. I wish it had image stabilization, because when you're walking, if you are truly using this as a security camera, it's attached to your clothing and there's a lot of movement. It's all over the place. So it would be nice to have some image stabilization. My other biggest complaint is when you take a photo with this, there is about a 3-second delay before you push the OK button and the photo is actually taken. So I would say probably more than half of the photos that I take are blurry because I've moved it a little bit after I push the button. So that's not an ideal situation. But again, this is primarily designed for capturing video, and except for the absence of image stabilization, I think it does quite a good job. So you can see it does a pretty good job. And now I'm going to take a still shot of myself, so let me stop the video. There is some distortion because this is a wide-angle lens, but it's not quite as profound as some other little sports cams that I've seen. All in all, I think it's pretty good. I think the price is great on this. It's pretty good value. It seems to be pretty well built. Seems pretty solid to me. It's got this siliconized covering on it, and there you have it. So that's about it. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. I'll try to answer it if I can. Please hit that subscribe button. If you want to get instant notifications, make sure you make that selection as well, and we'll catch you next time.